Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have The Straight Story. This is a Disney film from David Lynch. Yeah, David Lynch, the late, great late David Lynch, who passed away not too long ago. This is an Academy Award winning, Academy Award nominated film for Richard Farnsworth here in the lead role of Alvin Straight. Yes, that's where we get the name of the movie. It's his story. This is actually based on a true story of a real man named Alvin Straight who left his home in Iowa to visit his brother in Wisconsin by way of lawnmower. Yeah, he rides a lawnmower for about 6 weeks or so to make his way across a good distance. I don't know exactly how far it is, but man, it takes him 6 weeks. In fact, he's the kind of man who is soft-spoken. He is kind, and now he's stubborn. He's super stubborn. You cannot tell him what he can and cannot do. He's a man who's seen it all. He's a veteran of World War II. He has a daughter named Rose, played by Sissy Spacek. She plays Rose. She's a little bit slow, as she's described in by her father Alvin, by someone when he talks about her. But never in a derogatory way. She is the light of his life. Whenever she might be not able to clearly speak about something, and maybe gets a little kerfuffled, and she has say a very strong reaction to something. He's not swayed by that. He's not frustrated by that. And there's plenty of people who are like, "Hey, what are you trying to do? You're going to try to drive a lawnmower? Why is he driving a lawnmower to Wisconsin from Iowa?" Well, it's because he doesn't have a driver's license. He's 73 years old. And he can't really walk well. In fact, the first time we meet him, we don't actually see him. We hear him. We hear the sound of him falling over. And we discover that he has a really hard time getting up. And when somebody's not around, he just has to stay there until somebody picks him up. And even a doctor can't tell him. He doesn't want to hear it. He doesn't want to hear any diagnosis the doctor has, or what he needs to do, or surgery, or anything else about his hip, or anything else. He's stubborn. But he's not cruel, or unkind, or crotchety, or anything else. He is appreciative for the help he gets from people. He never imposes himself, although he does stand up for himself when people try to mess with him a little bit. But you can't tell him no. And that's kind of his charm. Richard Farnsworth, who plays him, who is nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actor. He did not win, unfortunately. But he took the role because of his admiration for Alvin Straight. So they even filmed this story along the same road in which Alvin had driven. And it's not a punchy, weird. It's a lot of times when you're thinking of a David Lynch thing, Twin Peaks, Blue Velvet, just and so many other things. You're just like, oh, that's David Lynch. It's strange. It's off kilter. There's none of that in this. I mean, I can't say there's none of it. I mean, a man riding a lawnmower across the U.S. And it is, in Lynch's own admission, it's one of the strangest films he's ever done, at least for him, for what he's known for. He could have, within his right, have just made it so much more fantastical and just do a number of different things that anybody else who would have a script like this would make it into a wacky comedy about an old man on a tractor heading across the country and running into all sorts of weird yahoos, and comedy ensues. But that's not what this is. Yes, there's humor throughout, and especially in his interactions with some people. I hate to. it's limiting for me to say, oh, it's a sweet film, or it's a sad film, or it's a again, I don't know if it's the kind of movie that's going to make you cry. It could. It's the kind of movie that make you feel something. It's the kind of movie that I think if you were in the theaters and you were walking out, you'd be like, whew, that was good. I think that's what I would have done. It's a kind of movie that makes you glad you saw it. It's not the kind of thing you're going to go, oh my gosh, what a waste of time. No, but it's also not the kind of movie where, like I said, you're not going to get just bombasted with like fast cuts or anything else. There's one scene that might have a few fast cuts in it, only because the tractor does go a little faster than he'd like. But beyond that, it's very slow and steady, but it's not boring. If you were going to watch this, you're going to watch this hopefully not with your phone in your hand. You're going to watch this with the intent of wanting to find out what happens to this guy. What drives him? Why is he driven to ride a lawnmower, a tractor, literally hundreds of miles? It takes him 6 weeks to get to his proposed destination. It ain't going fast. Bicyclists are passing him by. This is very much about discovering his need, what he wants, and also the people that cross his path. This feels like the way America should be. It is something that I think I highly recommend. I think this is something I think you'd appreciate. This is the kind of movie you want to curl up under a blanket on a cold, rainy day, which you might get a lot of this spring. I don't know. And just take it in, and just Richard Farnsworth. He's an actor. He's done plenty of films in his life, but it doesn't come across as a man who's acting. He comes across as if he were the real guy. It's not a documentary, of course. It doesn't feel like a documentary, but there's a genuineness to him, to his performance, and it hinges fully upon him. Sissy Spacek is technically the more famous actor in this film, but she's in it enough in order to show that where he comes from and who he is to his family. And along the way, we do get to learn so much more about this man. Some of it is sweet, some of it's heartbreaking, and you get to know about his brother and why he's going to visit him. And it's like I said, it's the kind of thing that I would not have necessarily just rushed out to see. Oh, that sounds just like exciting. I hope there's an Avenger in it. Does he pick up a lightsaber at some point? No, none of that stuff. Does it get David Lynch weird at some point? Is there a backwards talking little person? No, there's none of that. Who killed Laura Palmer? Maybe the answer's in there. Nope, there's none of that. It's just something that it does have a message. Not necessarily a message. It's not messagey, but it's something that I think each of us could learn a little something from. It's 6 weeks. Dang. But from 1999, by the way, it's an hour and 52 minutes long. I could probably go on for a while talking about this, but I'm going to cut it short here. I think you get the point. I recommend this. It is, again, not necessarily the kind of thing I go rush out to see, but I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad it finally came up. Even by looking at the thumbnail when I first did a search on it to make sure that it was still on the thing on the Disney Plus, I was like, is this like a country thing? Is this about people on a farm somewhere? Where you learn something about their dogs? I don't know. It didn't interest me at all, but I'm so glad I watched it. So give it a shot. Give it a shot. But pay attention to it. It's not meant to be background noise. After you see it one time, maybe you might want to put it on in the background as you're cleaning up. But beyond that, no. This is something you want to feel. You want to experience along with him. So check it out. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. 217. Do not have to scroll far. Okay, we got another movie. Man, we're really rocking through these movies. We don't have a ton of movies left. And I know we're going to get some more in the next few weeks, months, but we're not going to put them on until April. Or they might not appear until April, like things like Moana 2 or the Mufasa. Those films, those are going to get added at some point. I don't know when yet, but we'll find out. 217, though, I think is a more modern Disney Channel type film. I don't know, but we'll find out when we watch The Slumber Party. All right. The Slumber Party is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.